Transurfer and the Transurfing Curious. My name is Renee Garcia and this is TransurfingTV. And today, the difference between importance and value. Now, this is really about not only the words we use in our mind, but also where those words take us energetically with what we're applying the importance to or what we are valuing. So you can approach the same exact intention, right? Or the same event, the same circumstance, the same thing that you want to see materialize, whatever it is that you want to see happen, you can approach it from a place of importance, which, remember, invites in balancing forces, because as soon as we deem something excessively important, we create excess potential, and the world does not like the environment to be energetically imbalanced via our thoughts and seeks to eradicate that imbalance. So that's how a lot of people go about going after something with high importance levels. That's why a lot of people don't get what it is that they want. Then we have value, right? So instead of saying it's important that I become this thing, or it's important that I get this thing, it's valuable for my life track. It's valuable for my layer of reality. It's valuable for my personal growth. It's valuable for my trajectory, right? Rather than important. So see the difference? And when I started to really understand how to differentiate between importance and value, I realized that my external environment really looked a lot different when I went about something via importance or went about something because I felt it was valuable. Importance denotes that I've got to see this thing happen, or I'm going to be upset or disappointed or miss out or what something. It's almost like you're grasping, and if you don't get it, there's going to be a consequence, right? Whereas if you view an opportunity or an event or something that you intend to have as having value, it's like, my life's already good. My life's already good, and this is the cherry on top, right? This is a bonus. This will add value to my layer of reality. This will embellish my layer of reality, rather than if I don't get it, there's going to be a consequence, if that makes sense, or I'm going to be sad or disappointed or whatever. Remember to like this video and comment below. My world is taking care of me to enter my daily giveaway for my awesome reprogramming stickers and Reality 2.0 Unteachable, link down below, and join us on Facebook. It is lit. So yes, there is going to be a number of parts to this lesson, because even just switching over from using the word important. So when I first developed this idea, it was really just an awareness practice. When I would say something to someone or in my environment, when I would actually speak the word important, I would catch myself and I'd say, no, valuable. So it's important, boyfriend, that you go by the store and pick this up before you come home, or it's a value to me that you would go by the store and pick this up before you head home. So see kind of the difference. It makes things appear a lot more in your favor when it's simply a value add rather than something that you're expecting, right? So in just changing that alone, you will see a little shift in reality where everything becomes a bonus, right? Everything becomes an add-on rather than you expecting things consistently in your reality. And of course, balancing forces, helping you to not see those intentions be materialized, helping you in a bad way. So important versus value. It really, again, is about either viewing what you have as not enough and you need the thing to bring you up to level, that's importance, or what you have now is enough and anything on top is going to be value. And you can approach almost anything from either of these two perspectives, and I challenge you to play with them a little and you'll see very quickly the difference in sensations of telling yourself something's important versus telling yourself something is of value. So I have noticed a lot of people in the grips of pendulums lately. Politically, big, huge pendulums are swinging, media, all sorts of conversations about, you know, things like COVID and should I wear a mask and I don't want to wear a mask, and all these different conversations, different points of view, different perspectives. And I see people getting very, very wrapped up in these sorts of conversations and these sorts of topics when in fact it doesn't actually add value to the person's reality. So what I'm suggesting is this. Pendulums convince us that we need to be connected, and we get a little payment up front, right? This is you feeling like you're informed, or you feeling like you're educated or up on current events, or that you're doing the right thing, you're doing your duty by arguing this point or whatever it is, right? But the best way to tell if you are in the pendulum's grip and energy is being extracted from you, right? Maybe in excess of what is healthy for you, the best way to determine this is to stop yourself and ask, does this provide value to me and my layer of reality? What is the value, right? So what is it serving? Is it serving your higher good, or is it serving the pendulum? And I'm sorry, I know that a lot of people are probably going to say, Renee, I don't believe that, but this is what I personally believe. Arguing a political stance, arguing something about COVID or quarantine, or arguing with anybody about a perspective about masks, anything that's going on politically, with the environment, with the economy, whatever. If you are not directly benefiting, if that conversation isn't directly providing you value to your layer of reality, you are caught up in a pendulum. So whenever you can stop yourself and ask, and whenever you realize that you are really applying importance way too much, wake up, I see myself, I see my reality, I see that I have an unhealthy level of importance surrounding this subject, stop and ask yourself, what is it serving? Is it serving my higher good, or is it serving the pendulum? And you have your answer there. So again, wake up and ask yourself, what is the benefit? A lot of times the benefit diminishes over time when you're really wrapped up with a pendulum. I would challenge you to ask yourself, if you are too much into the news or media or social media, following all these current events, what is it that you're benefiting? I would challenge you to find the benefit there, because I'm almost willing to bet that it is pure energetic loss and you are in fact not benefiting in any way whatsoever. So if you let go of that pendulum, do you gain or do you lose? Okay, so this is a big one, and then this is going to get me to the second part of my lesson here. The pendulums that are extracting our energetic sources, extracting our meta power from us, when we cut that line, that open line of that open energetic line, when we cut that, we actually have a lot more energy then to do the things that we need to do that are actually going to improve our layer of reality, right? So if you cut the line of, and this is kind of a quick trick question, if you cut the line with a massive pendulum, let's say you call it quits and you're like, that's it, I'm not going to watch the media anymore. In my opinion, you're not going to lose much. If something really big happens, you'll hear it word of mouth from somebody else. I'm sure it'll trickle through some area of your life and get to you. You're actually not going to lose very much, but your gain is going to be exponential, right? It's going to be huge. So if you feel as though you are in the grips of any pendulum right now, ask yourself, if you cut it, are you going to benefit with more time, more meta power, more sanity, whatever, or are you going to lose? And challenge yourself to really try to figure out what it is you will be losing. A lot of the massive pendulums at play aren't offering much, so I think it's all gain and very little loss. So remember my my analogy that the alternative space in this particular concept, the alternative space is like a free-flowing river, right? And the different variations of reality are rocks within this river. And to access these different rocks, we have to first off be in the act of not holding on to one of the rocks. Remember, this is I want, I fear, I can't let go. Whatever it is isn't working for you, you're not achieving your desired result, etc. But for some reason, most likely via elevated importance levels, you are unwilling to let go of that rock. Therefore, you do not access the other variations of reality where what it is you intend to have possibly exists, right? This is really how the alternatives flow works. Letting go of the rock loaded up with excess potential, or importance. This could be a profession that you've fallen out of love with. Maybe it's a relationship that has grown toxic and is no longer serving you. Whatever it is, ask yourself, it's kind of getting back to, if I let this go, do I gain or do I lose? So if you let whatever it is you're holding on to now, and a lot of people don't let go because of, let's say with the professional thing, they don't want to lose the paycheck, right? Well, then what will I do? I want to be an entrepreneur, but I don't know how I'll survive. So the importance there is the money thing. Maybe the relationship is the security, whatever it is. And there's an elevated level of importance there that's keeping you holding on to that rock. And if you let go, you are going to lose out on something for sure, right? You're going to be giving up something. Everything's a trade-off in this world. But what are you going to be able to access in turn? So then we get to the person that is not clutching on to one of the variations via importance levels, right? They are free flowing through the alternative space. And this is where a person can really gain value instead of applying what it is they seek to achieve with importance, right? Maybe I didn't say that the wrong way, but I'll say it another way. So let's say you're traveling down the alternative space. You realize there's all these different variations. Obviously, the variations represent different opportunities and events and, chances to have adventure or new business or whatever it is. It's all positive gains, right? But again, and I've seen people do this before where they realize that they're clutching onto a rock. They're holding on to one of those variations of reality. They don't want to let go, but they let go, they start to flow, and then they just clutch on to the very next rock again, right? And they do the same thing, maybe getting stuck there for a while. The idea is to lower the level of importance overall and simply gain the value from each of the variations of reality without clutching on and then hanging on for dear life and sort of running that variation of reality into the ground and turning it into a scenario where, you know, your reality is not flowing in a healthy, positive, effortless sort of way where you're accessing what you want on a regular basis. You are more just focused on this one part of your life that you can't seem to get right, and you've loaded up with importance and so on and so forth. So I've got a number of questions here, or statements, and this will sort of go into this a little bit deeper. So importance is an over-evaluation of the possible gain, okay? So again, I think what happens a lot of times is we see these rocks in the water and we perceive them to have something, right? We perceive them to have something, and then we connect ourselves, we commit ourselves, we get emotionally involved, whatever it is, and then we clutch onto that rock, not wanting to let go until we see our achieved result. Now, what happens a lot of the times, and this is from my own personal experience, that result was never actually going to occur on that rock, right? That was my perception. That was my over-evaluation of possible gain, as I put it. And I would clutch on and hold on for dear life, saying, no, it'll come soon, it'll come soon. Oh, the guy will propose, or oh, the business deal will work out, or oh, this will happen, and not wanting to let go because I didn't want to accept defeat. Right? That what I really wanted was actually on some other rocks down the river, and the only way to connect with those was to release my importance on what it was I was doing and go and seek the value instead of some of the other variations downstream. Importance is a lack of acknowledging that value may or may not be there, or was ever there. Let me reread that. Importance is a lack of acknowledging that value may not be there or was never there. So classically, this is something we see a lot with failed relationships, right? We don't acknowledge that maybe that ideal scenario that we wanted to see coming together as a couple was never really there, right? It could be the same with business deals. That opportunity was never really there. It was somewhere else, but it definitely wasn't going to be accessed via high importance levels and clutching on for dear life and not letting go. Value is gained in the alternatives flow, never squeezed from a possible variation. I'm going to wrap this video up with that. So again, let me read that one more time. Value is gained in the alternatives flow, never squeezed from a possible variation. This is a person trying to squeeze the value out because they have importance. Value is gained by tapping the different variations and gaining the value with ease, and then moving on once you've gained what it is you need to help facilitate your intention or materialize your intention, right? So my state of flow is that, okay, here's an opportunity. Here's an opportunity that I'd really like to see come to fruition, right? I go and I tap that rock, I try it out, I see what I need to do, I give my pitch, I do what I need to do to see that variation of reality materialize. And if for whatever reason it doesn't happen in the way that I see my intention coming to materialization, I simply let the opportunity go, right? I let the opportunity go because I know that that opportunity may materialize down on one of these later rocks in an entirely different way. This has happened for me a lot in my life, where I, challenge things and, oh, I want to see it happen like this and, oh, it's got to go. And then I just let it go and encounter that opportunity later down the stream in another way that I tap right into, and it comes to me very, very easily. This is gaining value from variations of reality rather than tapping into them via importance in a way where you get stuck, you become uninspired, you become hyper-focused on a version of reality that may not even, like I said here, importance is a lack of acknowledging that value may not be there or was never there. So you may be holding on to a rock, trying to squeeze out that value when that variation of reality simply isn't going to materialize there. Right? If that makes sense. So I know this is a deeper lesson, everybody, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it. Let me know in the comments below, and remember to like this video and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.